Namco right there. I'm Dustin. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. The season's coming. We're pumped. This video, we're talking about early round draft strategy. When we say early rounds, we're talking the first kind of 3 or 4 rounds. And what we always like to say with those picks, you can't win your league with those picks, but you can certainly lose them. So they're very important. So we're just talking a little bit of strategy on what to do in those first 3 or 4 rounds.
Before we get into it, fantasy jocks, you know what? If you're in a league, you're a commissioner, you're not a commissioner, tell your commissioner, get some championship prizes. We've shown them a few times now, but these rings, I'm
pretty sweet.
I'm obsessed with them. I really am. I mean, these are awesome, legit rings. So get some championship stuff, and they have a whole bunch of other things.
Get on there, check it out. So this year in particular, probably the biggest change that I can remember in terms of people's mindset heading into the first few rounds of your draft. And that's because of what happened last year, and you looked at a lot of championship teams. Who got you there? It was Rawls, it was D'Angelo Williams, it was
Hightower.
Hightower.
Killed it.
I mean, you know, and then the quarterbacks with Russell Wilson and Cam Newton, who were going much, much later last year. So people are looking at what happened with the running backs and a lot of the early round running backs that really were a flop. And everyone's just retooling what their thinking is in those first few rounds. They're pushing running backs back. They're pushing quarterbacks back. They're pushing all tight ends except for Gronk back, maybe Jordan Reed. And it's just heavy receivers is what seems to be kind of the shift that's going on.
And so with it being receivers, are we okay with that strategy? Absolutely. We're okay with doing that strategy. But people, yeah, you know, you'll hear a lot of other sites say, oh, you know, I'm going receiver. And that's such a short-sighted view. We're still all about best player available early on. If that happens to be 2 receivers, we are okay to endorse that, especially in a PPR leagues. But if you do that, make sure then you're loading up with running backs in the later rounds.
And another thing too, there was always a reason why there was 1 or 2 quarterbacks going in the first few rounds, why there was, you know, 10 running backs going in the first 2 rounds. Last year was very fluky when you look at, you know, what typically has happened over the last 10 years or so. So don't overcompensate and just forget about the Aaron Rodgers and the Andrew Lucks and just how the potential of those guys being so much more dominant than all the other quarterbacks. That potential is still very much there. You don't want to ignore that, and you don't want to overcompensate and just say, oh, I'll get Cousins later and it'll be fine.
And that's the thing, right? You'll hear, and this is what I hate, some of these quote-unquote experts, like ourselves, but we're more the common man's expert, you know, there's like, oh, you shouldn't take a quarterback until the 8th round. Well, guess what? In your league, that's not going to happen, regardless. It will not happen. And just think how hard it is to trade for an Aaron Rodgers after 2 weeks of him being amazing.
Up, yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. And what I'm basically saying is don't lock your into a strategy. Let the draft come to you, take best available, and build your team accordingly.
Like we've always said in the first few rounds, don't force anything. Like if you really want big name receivers early and you're at like the 18th pick and you're between like Jamal Charles and Allen Robinson, I mean, there's question marks with both of them. And Robinson could see a regression this year with Jacksonville, maybe having a different, you know, kind of team this year, maybe not playing from behind as much. Obviously, Charles, there's injury history there, but you look at what you could get there and what you could get, you know, 2 rounds later. If you pass on Charles and get the receiver, and then 2 rounds later you might still be able to get Brandon Marshall, but the running back at that point is, you know, way down in terms of the next tier level.
And I totally agree with that. And it's again what Dustin said, do not lock yourself into it. If for me personally, if I can have a more balanced team after the first couple rounds, I would prefer that. I'm not going to force it, but I prefer to do that. So if you're in a coin flip situation between 2 different positions, then take the one that you don't currently have, because that does open up things in the middle rounds for you.
So that's the key, is just don't force it, don't overcompensate, don't get too sucked into this wide receiver stuff, because it's valid, and we've never really been experts that have said you got to go running back, whatever. But you can get sucked into things with just putting too much value on what happened just last year and not looking at what's happened typically over the last 10 years or so. So that's our early round draft strategy. One quick thing, our photo contest has not been going that well so far.
Who was right?
We still got time, people.
Who was right?
Well, here's what I need
Prove
to
me
tell
wrong.
you. We want cool things of your league, just cool loser prizes, anything fun that you do. If you have a party, get them on there, hashtag FST photo contest. Make sure if you're set to private though, you follow us before you send it so that we can see it. The first 5 people that show up with a legit picture, I'm gonna send you a koozie. Then we're picking 5 finalists after August. They get a shirt, and we're gonna give away a belt to the winner.
Yeah!
And if you're the only one that submits a picture,
you're gonna get a koozie shirt and a belt.
I mean, that's amazing.
Just like that.
Just for submitting one picture. Right now, I submitted a couple pictures, so right now I'm the
you're gonna.
I'm penciled in, so get on
Please
there.
somebody else do it because I refuse to pay and give him the belt.
On our draft guide, get on the site, click in the link in the card or description to check out the draft guide. Same thing with Fantasy Jocks if you want to check them out. Let us know what you think of our draft guide as well. We've beefed it up a lot this year, a lot more information in
it's
there.
awesome.
Our cheat sheet is on there. It's amazing. We'll be updating it throughout the preseason.